Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. And congratulations to everybody that ran hard and closed the month hard. I know yesterday was that bonus qualifiers day. If you're taking a little bit of time today to rest and recharge, I give you credit. If you are not doing that, make sure you take a little bit of time, even if it's a day, to just shut it down and recharge. We have a long ways to go. We are 1/3 of our way in, just slightly over 1/3 of our 90-day run. And if you stick with us and just continue to level up your game every single day, you will completely transform your business in this 90 days and lay an incredible foundation. And you will be shocked at what you can do and how you can maximize time. And every time you close a month, your baseline will get higher and higher of what you tolerate with yourself every single day and also with your team. So keep showing up, but make sure you get the rest that you need. Today's lesson was very timely that Eric taught today. He was over in Dubai, if you follow him on social. So the lesson, obviously, they're further along in their 90-day because they started in January. But today's lesson was all about learning how to do things yourself, learning how to do presentations yourself, learning how to do all these amazing things that go into having a successful business. And if you have an upline that is running team calls for you, that's bringing guest speakers, that's doing presentations, that does three-way calls, you should thank them, because there's not a lot of people in network marketing that have the support coming behind them. So you should be incredibly grateful and thankful for those people. And you should also not take it for granted. And easier said than done, right? Because you want to focus on recruiting people. You don't necessarily want to focus on the presentation or all the intricacies. But it was very timely, very, very timely, because I was recently having this conversation with somebody on my team. And it's really for people's own good. And the story that Eric told, I really want you all to listen to it, because it was what transformed his business. And so every week when Eric started his business, he was living in Minnesota, and every week his upline would have a meeting. So they would rent out a room in a hotel, and like a conference room, and there was a presentation, and the upline had amazing music playing, and this presentation was short and sweet, and the room was set up amazing. And Eric was always given a lot of credit because he had somebody every single week. So every single week, Eric had one person. He always had one guest with him at a minimum. And he was considered the rock star when he would walk in, and people were just always commending him from no matter what, rain or shine, no matter what was going on in his life. He always had one person with him. And then his upline decided to move to Indianapolis and start to build that territory out. So his upline up and left Minnesota. And so the event that Eric was building his entire business on went away. And so there were some other leaders in the area that decided to put the event on. And so Eric did what he did, and he would go get one person and show up with this one person at the event. But this time when he went, the presentation wasn't short and sweet. The presentation that these guys did ran for an hour and a half. So the presentation ran for an hour and a half. And so, which we all know that is no bueno. And the playlist was awful, and they had too many chairs set up, right? So there was they doubled. They thought that they were going to get more people, and so they set up too many chairs. So the room looked incredibly empty. So instead of walking into this, short and sweet, high energy, amazing music presentation with, the seats are full, all the seats are full. Eric walks into horrible music, horrible energy. The presentation is 3 times as long. People are leaving, and it looks like nobody's there because they set up like 4 times as many chairs. And so Eric followed the old Jim Rohn saying of, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And so Eric decided to put on his own presentations. And so when he set out to put on his own presentations, now he had to negotiate with a hotel, and he had to fork over a few $100s to rent this room out. And then Eric had to figure out how to make a playlist and put the music in. And then he had to figure out how many chairs needed to be there and make sure that all that was set up. And then he had to figure out how to give the presentation. And then he had to go find people. So once he invested his own money and he had all of this there, he was like, holy cow, this has got to be a success. And so something shifted in his brain, obviously, and he went to everybody, friends, family, everybody on his street. He's looking, which is probably the way that a lot of you were running at the end of last month, just up until yesterday, getting all these orders. So he was running and looking, and instead of bringing the one person that he always brought every single week, he brought 50 people. 50 people, because it was his event. He needed to make it look a certain way. He forked over some cash, and lo and behold, Eric Worre, who was bringing one person to every single event, all of a sudden he brings 50 people and he signs up 18 new frontline from that. Okay. So I share this with you. There is so much value. There is so much value when you take the time and you are practicing the presentation. You spent the money. It is your event. You need to make it look good. There's so much value in what that accountability and responsibility does for you as well as for your business. You just shift into a whole new person. So, if you are not doing your own presentations, but your upline says you're ready to, you need to start to get a plan together to do that. If your upline is doing presentations, maybe there's some that you're not ready to do, or maybe you're new to this. You need to make sure you are recruiting as many people as that. You have no idea what an incredible opportunity you're being offered if somebody is doing presentations, if somebody's doing launch events, if there's a business presentation. And speaking of, we have a business presentation every single Saturday at 11:30. Okay. If you haven't attended one, make sure you attend one. It's a short and sweet presentation. It covers the business opportunity. Obviously it covers a product. We can't talk about business without sharing what our product opportunity is, but make sure your upline could stop tomorrow. Your upline could take a break tomorrow. Your upline could have you start doing presentations tomorrow. So if you are in a situation where you have those things, double up, man, triple up, start bringing people. It's a priority that you need to bring people to those presentations. Maximize when you're out there recruiting, and make sure that you always have somebody at a minimum. But, just think about that story with Eric. Eric said he would never be where he is today if his upline didn't decide to go build another team in Indianapolis, because he had to figure all of that out. Okay. So things happen, and we usually grow during that. But, if those things aren't happening, just check yourself and see where you may be taking some things for granted, and where you can step up your game a little bit and leverage the systems that are in place, because it took a long time to build the systems, and you can get so much mileage, right? So who are you inviting to the Tuesday calls? Are you following up with your people? It is customary, until people get in the habit. We're texting people before we get on the call. We're texting people as soon as we get on the call that are on our team, just to remind them to make sure they're there. Now, after, a few weeks, they should put it in their calendar, and it should be a mandatory thing, but we're all human beings. If you want your people there, you got to get them to show up every single week. Who are you inviting to this business presentation on Saturday? Every single week. If you have a new team member on your team and you're doing a launch call for them, who in your life can you invite, right? And just say, because again, what's our number one job? Our number one job is to educate. Okay. So if you were to just say, hey, one of my girls is launching her business on Thursday, and it's really important that there's numbers. Could you please just come? It's like 30 minutes. Could you just come and let us see your face, and listen to this, and help me show her some support. You're getting somebody to a business presentation. You're getting somebody to a product presentation. They're there. They're going to listen. Perhaps they'll hear something. Perhaps they'll know somebody this could benefit. Perhaps they will think of themselves as well. Or you could say, hey, I'm starting to do these presentations, and I really respect you. Would you mind coming to my presentation and just watching and listening and giving me some feedback? It would mean the world to me because I really want to get good at these and I just started to do them. Okay. So make sure you're leveraging all the opportunities. Make sure whatever calls you got going on with your upline, with your team, you're getting people there. And you're going to start showing up a little bit differently too when you have team members that are on as well. So it works in so many beautiful ways, right? So get out there and get it. It is March 2nd. We are on our, what is it, 28, 29, 30, 31st day of our 90-day run. All right. So you guys are doing great. I loved seeing a lot of the successes and the promotions that happened during this month. Let's see if we can even pick it up. You know, I challenge you to beat what you did in February, in March. All right. Take care of yourself. Don't burn out during this. Have a great day, everybody.